Yamadumaran, Yuanada, Mamaba Nanaron Paul, Dermadilia Bardu Wiradjuri. Hello everyone, my name is Uncle Paul. I'm a proud Wiradjuri man and a polio survivor and a proud member of the LGBTIQ+ community. And I now live on beautiful Gubbi Gubbi Jinnaburra country on the Sunshine Coast, where I support other First Nations mob living with disability and artists living with disability across different language groups across Queensland. And it was my absolute privilege to be asked as a man living with disability to do this artwork and tell the story of Carers Queensland using the traditional language and style and art styles of my mob. And it was an absolute honour because Carers Queensland do some deadly work with our mob and around community and the LGBTIQ+ community. So I hope that I've been able to capture it all in this artwork. I might just explain some of the symbols used in this artwork in the storytelling. Now, the U shape is used to represent a person because that's the shape you leave when you're sitting down in the sand having a bit of a yarn. So it's like your bottom and your legs coming out. If you're a person with a disability, this symbol was developed because there's no word for disability in our language. So it shows if you've got a bad leg like me, you leave a different shape in the sand. So it doesn't talk about being better or worse, just different path and different support needs. Here we have a coolamon, which is a beautiful wooden bowl with lots of berries and fruit. So that represents food coming together and people celebrating, sitting down and sharing their food. So the story starts here with people coming together, some carers who cared for loved ones with disability and having a bit of a yarn over a bit of a morning tea. And out of that group, they decided that we need to formalise this. Maybe we need better supports or put something together to help support us. So they come together and again had a bit of a yarning circle. Now I've done the different colours here, the different shades, to represent the diversity of the group. That we're all people. The yellow dots around the outside show that we all have a soul, we're all have an inner spirit, but the different shades represent the diversity and the different cultures and the different parts of the community that people come from. So they came together, had a bit of a yarn with some food, and out of that a play group was started where carers would come together and support their children up here. Now the little circles are used to represent children because often that's used to represent a child until they go through ceremony. So they're not sort of often represented as male, female, boy or girl, they're just represented as a child, an innocent child. So have that here. So out of that, this grew, and what happened was, now is today we have Carers Queensland. So this shows Carers Queensland, the layers, the staff, run by a CEO with different levels of people doing different jobs. And again, we've put in the different colours and different shades to show the diversity of Carers Queensland, the people that work for them, the different cultures, people with disabilities that work in Carers Queensland. And I really wanted to capture that rich diversity. Now out of that, what's happened is Carers Queensland has grown. So these are all the different offices and different areas that they have. They've just grown, and these are, and again, all these offices and groups are still very diverse. Here is where we represent a person coming in, and Carers Queensland running workshops and information sessions where all their staff will come in and listen to people with disabilities or listen to Indigenous community members, so they gain more knowledge on how to engage with community and the communities they're working in. All these little groups here and these little lines here show that within each office they have amazing connections and do different programs in different communities. For instance, here we have all people on the outside of a circle with food coming in, and that shows when Carers Queensland do community work outside with community, sitting down with community, having a yarn and engaging. Here we have people inside the circle with food and that as well, and that shows when Carers Queensland do different events inside. They do things within their organisation to build resilience, build knowledge, to see what they're doing and how they can improve things. But for the most part, they do a lot of work with community, engaging with community, education and training. And this is me as a gay man, a gay elder with my husband and little rainbow dots, and this is where I sat down with one of the LOCs with Carers Queensland, and I put this in because this was my personal experience with Carers Queensland and the respect they've shown to me and my relationships and my culture and the support they put in, and they were always there, and I was so impressed, and I think that model should be replicated in all different areas of the LOCs because it was so respectful for me and really changed the way how I engaged and felt comfortable in engaging with them. And here we have some different groups and different programs that Carers Queensland run. I put this one in here with the rainbow flag again, because again, Carers Queensland I feel are the leaders in supporting the LGBTIQ+ community with disabilities by developing a specific email address to support people to go to and contacts. And they show that in their diversity of their staff as well, with having members of the LGBTIQ+ community in their staff, in management positions, in all positions, not just tokenistic, and really valuing that contribution and that diversity. We have here where the purple and green represents the NDIS, because that's the colours used in their logos. And when I worked out in community, when community wanted to represent the NDIS, they did the purple. They call them the purple people and these colours. So this shows here Carers Queensland LACs coming in and supporting a carer and a person with disability to negotiate with the NDIS or to access the NDIS, and sitting down there with them. This also shows here where they will sit in and support an individual person with the NDIS and make sure that it's working right for them and they have a strong voice with that and advocate for people. And here we have again here advocating with the NDIS, supporting a family. So they'll walk alongside people through their journey in disabilities and supporting each other. What I've done here too is I've put these blank circles in with nothing around them, because this represents the growth of Carers Queensland, the things they've still got in the pipeline, the things they're going to do, and they'll continue to grow. So this is the future, the potential areas that they will move into. Now overall, with all this in the background are these coloured circles, and what they represent are the areas of Queensland. So we've got the saltwater areas, the beautiful desert dreaming, the urban areas. Over here we've got the rainforest, and those brown circles up here represent the beautiful Glasshouse Mountains of the Sunshine Coast. And I have the dreaming running through here as a border. This represents the dreaming because they're very sacred spots like the Glasshouse Mountains, and coming through here, and me and myself and my connection to my culture and story. And this also represents the fact that Carers Queensland are respectful of our dreaming stories, our culture, our history, and what it looks like. And they are very respectful and follow that and support that in everything they seem to do. And all these different areas here are little circles representing all the different community groups and language groups. And you'll see that some are joined by lines to show there may be a bit of a distance between these groups. And here is where they're really touching up to each other, shows the multiple language groups that exist in urban areas in Queensland now and on the Sunshine Coast. You'll notice there's no sort of circles here because this just represents country and people coming together, that initial meeting before it become all connected to community and developed all these different networks and that as well. I really hope that this supports our mob and encourages them to support Carers Queensland, and I think this story, I hope that we'll continue the relationship with Carers Queensland and we'll continue to grow, work with our mob and do things better. So it was my pleasure to have told this story.